Hello fellow YouTube friends, followers, fools and flabbergastas, my name is Mason and it's time for another easy PvE build guide. Today's build of choice is Condition Chronomancer. While Chronomancer is often perceived as a relatively complex build, Condition Staff Chrono is a simple build with a solid damage potential. Due to the high amounts of confusion it applies, it excels at fights with fast attacking bosses. It has a very high range and is able to provide all important boons to itself in open world gameplay. Might, stability, aegis, regeneration, quickness, alacrity, fury and protection. Can also be turned into a simple alacrity or quickness provider with just one trait change. With 37 APM and only 7 skills used, it provides a very relaxed introduction into the Chronomancer playstyle. Just like core Mesmer, the gameplay on Chrono evolves around creating clones of yourself and then shattering them. Creating clones can be done in two ways. Indirectly by using phantasm skills which perform an attack and then turn into clones afterwards. Or directly by skills or traits that create clones on certain actions like your Staff 2 skill Phase Retreat for example. The main mechanic that Chronomancer adds to core Mesmer is Continuum Split. This skill reverts time in that it will save the skill cooldown's health and position when you activate it. Then for each clone you shattered with it, it gives you more time to use skills and have them reverted. In this simple build we'll just use it in the opener for starters and then only reuse it when another phase starts. Moving on to rotation guidance, there are 4 traits that shape this rotation as is. The first one is Illusionary Membrane. This increases your condition damage by 7% for 5 seconds when you apply Chaos Aura to yourself, and this stacks in duration. I'll explain how to keep this up in the general rotation. The second trait is Sharper Images in dueling. This makes your illusions apply bleeding on critical hits, making it very important to have 3 clones up at all times. This build generates a lot of clones and rarely shatters them, making it relatively easy to execute. The trait Improved Alacrity makes Alacrity stronger but harder to keep up. With this trait your skills recharge in 2/3 of the original cooldown time. This increases the APM of the build but is also a very strong boost to everything you do. Finally, Chrono Phantasma makes your phantasms exceptionally strong since they do their damage twice in a row. That's why using Phantasmal Warlock and resetting it with Aether Signet are your main priorities. Before we dive into the actual rotation, note that this build has 2 counteracting effects in actual content. On the Golem, you apply Fury to your clones, increasing the amount of bleeding applied by them, which won't happen in actual content. But it also applies significant confusion, which triggers on skill use of enemies, which boosts your damage in actual content. Okay, the opener. In the opener we're making use of Continuum Split in a simple way to reset phantasms and creating a nice amount of burst damage. Start with casting Mirror Images to gain 2 clones and use Continuum Split right after to shatter them. Always use the 2 skills in this order. Immediately after that use Phantasmal Warlock, Signet of the Aether and another Phantasmal Warlock. And then you can use other damaging skills until Continuum Split resets them all. Immediately when the skills are reset, use Phantasmal Warlock, Signet of the Aether and Phantasmal Warlock again. And then we go into the general rotation. After the opener you want to use the following skills. Priority number 1 is again Phantasmal Warlock and Signet of the Aether to reset it. Second, you have Rewinder, so your Shatter skill number 2. This does nice damage and grants Chaos Aura. If you can, always use it with 3 clones. You can press Split Seconds, so your Shatter skill number 1 right after for a bit of free damage. Staff skill number 4, Chaos Armor, grants you Chaos Aura for free. Chaos Storm is an ethereal field, and Phase Retreat is a leap finisher which will grant you Chaos Aura when you use it inside an ethereal field. Through the trait Method of Madness, Signet of the Aether will also place an ethereal field, so try to use Phase Retreat inside fields from those skills. Finally, when you shattered your clones with Rewinder, you can use Mirror Images in Phase Retreat for instant clone generation. Both of them don't have a cast time and they will immediately give you 3 clones back. The rotation flow resulting from this is quite simple, but it's still engaging enough to be fun. You can treat this as a stepping stone for the benchmark rotation, so that you can add Scepter and Torch and weapon swap and then change to the trait line Illusions instead of dueling when you're ready for it. While it does lose you quite a bit of damage, you can become a quickness or alacrity provider with just 1 trait change. And by using Chaos with Bountiful Disillusionment, you will always share a lot of boons in an area around you. To become a quickness or alacrity provider, just change to Seize the Moment or Stretch Time in Chronomancer respectively. Alright, last but not least, let's talk about CC skills. You have 3 CC skills in your kit. Your main priority for CC should be Signet of Humility. This applies 600 CC damage immediately, so always prioritize this for break bars. With the trait Improved Alacrity, the cooldown of this is roughly 40 seconds, so you can use this quite frequently. The second priority would be time sync, ideally with as many clones as possible. This can disrupt your rotation a little bit, but you can try and save mirror images and phase retreat for this every once in a while. The third skill is Signet of Domination. This is just there for the passive condition damage, but you should use the active cast for Defiance bar damage whenever necessary. Don't hesitate to do so. Alright, moving on to gear. The gear is pretty standard. We're using a full set of Viper's gear with trap runes and standard condition damage and expertise food. I put a Signet of Malice on the staff here. You can also use Spiteful Infusions if you have them and use a Bursting Sigil instead. I designed the gear to reach 83% overall conti duration in the hero panel without boons. The trait Chaotic Persistence provides additional 17% condition duration with regeneration up. So that's it for the build for instance content. Let's talk about how you can adjust this for open world. For open world, as always, it can make sense to make a build more forgiving so that you can sustain on your own. By using staff, you have a lot of range by default and your clones function as decoys to distract enemies. Many enemies, including lots of bosses, will start focusing them instead of you when you summon them, allowing you to stay behind and let them take the beating. For strong passive healing, use the Relic of Nuris, which will convert your damage into healing and increase your damage from time to time. It has a neat interaction with Persistence of Memory and Aegis, since the boons transfer from your phantasms and blocking attack with Aegis will stack the relic up. Signet of the Aether allows you to trigger the relic very quickly. It resets Phantasms so that Phantasmal Warlock provides 4 stacks and Phantasmal Disenchanter, if you use it, provides another 2 stacks every time. Standing in Chaos Storm from your staff skill will also give you Aegis from time to time, stacking this up. These synergies make it stronger in damage than Relic of the Fractal and great survivability at the same time. Your Shatter skill Fall Distortion provides an invulnerability window, so save this for emergencies. You can opt to use Phantasmal Disenchanter instead of mirror images in open world for more might and quickness coverage. Phase Retreat is an instant movement skill that you can use to get out of trouble even when you're stunned. Finally, you can replace all pieces of Vipers with Ritualists or Celestial 1-to-1. The more pieces of Ritualists or Celestial you have, the easier it becomes surviving and maintaining boons. Ritualists' rare armor and exotic trinkets are cheap to buy. I recommend using at least a few larger pieces to make things easier. As part of the self-sustainability of a build, boon coverage is a very important factor. As a first step, you can increase the self-coverage of essential offensive boons by using illusions instead of dueling. The combination of Persistence of Memory, Phantasmal Haste and Phantasmal Force will allow you to keep more might and quickness on yourself easily. And again, this is important for triggering the Relic of Nuris. On top of that, Bountiful Disillusionment will always provide boons to yourself and allies with shatters. That's why it makes sense to use them even when you don't have any clones active. You should still try to shatter Rewinder with 3 clones whenever possible. You can also replace the Signet of Domination with the Signet of Inspiration and use it on cooldown. This extends all boons on you by 3 seconds whenever you use it. Especially when you're learning the build and you're not certain when to press what, this can be an easy way to increase boon coverage. Your staff auto attack will give you might and fury randomly by bouncing between enemies and allies. Now, Alacrity is a crucial boon, but the only trait that gives it to you is Flow of Time. If you want full uptime on Alacrity, you'll have to change to Stretch Time, reducing your clone output. Through this, it will reduce your quickness uptime since your phantasms only spawn once. Protection is covered easily by swapping out Method of Madness for Illusionary Defense and Chaos Armor, or any other source of Chaos Aura. The boon regeneration is crucial for damage and boon coverage on the open world build due to the trait Chaotic Persistence. Metaphysical Rejuvenation replies it to you whenever you use a healing skill, and Chaos Armor will randomly give it to you when you get hit. As you can see in the boon table, this build covers basically all boons in the game with significant uptime. And again, by changing to Stretch Time or Seize the Moment, you can provide either Alacrity or Quickness to allies even. The gameplay doesn't change at all. Now, in the concluding part of the video, let's talk about how you can deal with incoming conditions and control effects. Now, this build doesn't natively have any condition cleanses in it. So what I usually do is in open world, I make use of a second staff with a superior sigil of purity and a superior sigil of generosity on it. Another option that you can go for is to use a null field instead of a signet of domination. This will even cleanse conditions in an area and strip boons from enemies, which is also nice for Relic of Nuris. Now, this build basically permanently keeps up stability on itself. Bountiful Disillusionment applies stability for over 7 seconds with a full set of Celestial or Ritualist gear every time you use a Shatter skill, and additional stability to allies when you use your Distortion skill. That is pretty damn nice and allows you to ignore incoming CC for most of the time. If you do get CC'd, you still have 2 stun breaks in the kit, Mirror Images and Signet of Midnight. Mirror Images is used for clone generation in the rotation, so you won't always have it up. But Signet of Midnight is a perfect emergency stun break, since all you lose is a bit of expertise when you use it. That's it for today for Condy Chrono. I hope this video was insightful for you and made you want to try the build. Feel free to like and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. See you next time and happy cloning yourself!